More group stage, more Sisters Call. So, we got another best of 3 series here in our round robin phase, and already we have some interesting drafts. Game number 1 in the best of 3 between Team Voice and Team Gumis. Over on the left side, the captain on Tychus. We got the Holy Chicken on Varian. Halcon is playing Rexa for the team here in Volskaya Foundry. We got Mr. X on Deckard, and Makto is playing Kel'Thuzad. We had some absolutely fierce Kel'Thuzad games the other day. Let's see if Makto can measure up to that. Over on the right side, Team Gumis with Gumis himself on Muradin. We got Rutek on Rega. Lopaka is playing Liming. Danazovsky on Nazeebo. And Ostri is playing Sonya. So, off we go. Again, a quick reminder, in this tournament we have a lot of pre-banned heroes. The Polish organizers, they took my META Madness rules, the full set, not only the you can play hero only once edition, but that means we have 25 heroes that are pre-banned and unavailable for the entire event. You can find the list in the description of the video if you watch this on YouTube. Make sure to also hit that like button, watch the video to the end. Again, it helps a lot with the algorithm and getting people back into the hero scene here, which is obviously one of the big goals. But in addition to all of those heroes banned, you can only play heroes once within a series, and that obviously reduces the pool quite significantly as we progress. That's going to become even more obvious when we enter the playoffs, but for now it is still the round robin phase with the 6 teams at hand. And we have some interesting lineups already. I mean, it is a map that tends to go into the late game, so Nazeebo makes sense on the side of Team Gumis. And then we have Team Voice here as well with Kel'Thuzad. Again, a big shout out to Richu, who has been organizing the entire tournament. This is a Polish event. We have mainly players from Poland present here. And also a shout out to Nivishia, who is the main sponsor of this. There is a total of roughly $1,500 in prizes. They have trophies, figurines, posters, puzzles, all kinds of stuff that is heroes themed at this tournament. And Sonya goes down, and Rexa also gets murdered. So we have a double kill already. Each team loses one of the heroes just past the 1 minute mark. Nazeebo went full Toads and is currently rotating between the lanes to get his stacks together. Generally when I look at the teams right now, and especially the names that we have with Lopaka and Liming, for example, I would tend to put Team Gumis into the spot of the favorite team. But of course there is quite a bit of aggression coming from Team Voice, at least we can expect that. If you have a taunt from Varian, and then you can follow up with Kel'Thuzad damage, you might be able to get the targets destroyed very quickly, especially if then on top of that you also have Tychus, so he can start to burn a target down, and then you have Kel'Thuzad just capitalizing on hopefully also complete a baseline quest eventually. But we have Nazeebo, again, rotating, and a Toad build on Nazeebo will destroy structures later with absolute ease. Once that you have your Vital Infection, proper stacks on the baseline, and the Toad build, you can just move in, and whatever you drop your Toads on essentially disappears. So they have to tee this up too, trying to get into the late game. There's lots of stuff to do for them here now as well. But we'll see. So all the way up at the top, Rutek is now sitting tight. Lopaka is currently coming in here as well. The chicken looking for targets. And there's the taunt. And boo! The teammates not believing. Yeah, that was actually a little bit of a sad one, to be honest with you. His teammates did definitely not believe in the power of Varian here. So a bit of a shame. They didn't trust. Absolutely zero trust here from the blue team. But okay. Nazeebo is doing fantastic, by the way. We're 3 minutes in, he's sitting at 50 stacks, so you can tell that he's been... Oh my god, that ragdoll! What the hell? There needs to be the ragdoll Olympics at some point in Heroes of the Storm, where the farther you can throw it, the higher the score. But Muradin was definitely... I mean, he was flying. And they're getting more kills. This is the power of a sniper comp Varian, and it is helping the quest of Kel'Thuzad. But as I've been saying, Nazeebo at least is getting very, very good stacks together here. As Sonya now dies too at the bot lane in the 1v1. Okay, this is becoming a bit of a meme, right? 5 kills to 1 at the 4 minute mark? Are you serious? That's kind of wild. I mean, that's really wild. So, great job for the blue team starting into this. They are off to a fantastic start, and now Nazeebo is also dead. Yeah, I mean, I like his stacking. 61, he can definitely eat that death. It's not that biggest issue for him, but still, this is going to hurt if they're not starting to slow this down. The whole idea if you're playing Nazebo is that you want to reach the late game where you have a completed baseline quest and can bank on Violent Infection. In an ideal world, you want to even do well before that, but that's kind of your goal or your trump card. So if your opponent is just absolutely snowballing you early on, then you're going to be in for a very, very tough game. So if they don't start stabilizing soon here and that trend continues, then it's going to be very, very tough for the red team. And as I said before, they got a couple of absolutely exceptional players here, but they are having some real problems. Now another kill in the middle. The sniper comp that we're seeing for Team Boys is crushing it right now. 7 kills to 1 and more than a level lead around level 10. I mean, damn son. That is some disaster for them. We have on level 10 also Shadow Fisher now. So even more bursts that we're getting from Khaldor, specifically with him getting more stacks on the baseline, and eventually he will lock in that additional spell power. So I'm not quite sure how this is going to end for Team Gumis, but they need to change something up here. So far, things are not working. Now the objective is also slowly getting attacked. Nazebo again continuing with a decent process, but there's it is again. The burst damage, that combo between Varian and Khaldor is absolutely ruthless. You have Deckard Kane for additional CC. You have Sonya coming in too. So yeah, there's a lot. Sonya trying to get out in this case, but yeah, you have, for example, also then tools from Rexa later on. Tychus trying to get in some extra damage. First Protector is already taken. Level 10 abilities are finally in for Team Gumis, so maybe now they can start to slowly bring this back. They will still lose some structures. It's a 1.5 level lead now for the blue team, and it's been an absolute reckoning over here. So, time will tell. Nazebo at least is doing his job, but can they survive long enough? That's honestly the bigger question for now. Sonya has made a choice at level 10. She should, I mean, she could go leap. If she feels she needs to jump out or jump in to engage, then leap is an option for them. Nazebo has been all over the place, just getting stack after stack, but they're even losing a fort in the middle now. So that fort is gone. It's 8 kills to 1 and a fort destroyed. I think they're hoping to at least get Deckard Kane, but Sonya has been destroyed again. And they get the old man. So they take Deckard Kane down. It's low-hanging fruit. I mean, he had one foot in the grave already. So the old man with the beard now gone. There's the taunt. 18 stacks on Khaldor's baseline. Yeah, as I said, once he has his spell power increased, this is going to get even worse for the red team. And already we're looking at 14,000 damage for Rexa, top damage on their side. It's actually kind of funny that Khaldor has less damage than both Rexa and Varian. Also less damage than Tychus, but he's getting that burst in whenever they need it. So he is a huge reason why they're able to get this action going. Li Ming at least with a bit of counter damage now. She has 20,000 damage. So Lopaka's trying to put on the big boy boots today and carry the team to victory. Getting that kill. Getting the Ancestral. Yeah, Rega. Is he gonna get out? Oh, yes he is. But boy, oh boy, they are starting to have massive issues with that cooldown reduction on Makto now. So hit after hit is coming, and as the team was trying to push in, they were forced back. Leap is now claimed from Sonya. Level 13 talents are in for Team Boys. Good job by Khaldor forcing them back and defending well here. So at least that was working pretty okay. But I'm looking over to the stacks that Nazebo has, and it's honestly a bit nuts. I mean, is it 120? 12 at level 12. 8 minutes in. That's pretty good. So did Sonya just... Yes. She was like in the middle of and then she died. So that's a cooldown burned and a hero down. The real question here is honestly, can the red team at some point come back? That's kind of what we're looking at, right? Because this has been going one direction and one direction only so far. I'm not talking about the K-pop group here. So blue team is now rotating from lane to lane, just always looking for more targets. The Holy Chicken is leading the charge with one taunt after another. And I think that Team Gumis is just hoping for Nazebo to rock that late game. But here comes the next attack. Trying to come back here. At least a kill against Misha. Ult from Nazeebo. Nice damage. Forcing them back. Saving Muradin as the grenade comes in. But now the rest of the team has to retreat too. Kel'Thuzad does not have his spell power addition just yet, but he is getting very, very close. And his damage output has already started to, I don't want to say explode, but surpass at least the rest of his team. Rexa's close with a there's the leap. Can they get a kill on Kel'Thuzad? It would go a long way. And yes, they can. Nice. Good damage from the Zebo. Job well done. And look how much the Toads can do at those structures. So big damage on the wall. The opponent already has level 16. The red team shouldn't overstay. And they do exactly that, which causes them to lose Muradin. Muradin is gone. We're now 10 minutes into the game. 11 kills to 4. There's at least some signs of life from Team Gumis, but the problem that still exists is, of course, that they are very much behind in XP. 1.5 levels to be exact. Now, Nazeebo is 157 stacks already, which is obviously pretty big. There's only one fort that has been destroyed, so if Team Boys really wants to prevent them from... actually, I don't think they can prevent them from getting to 20. That would really require a massive snowball. But what they can do is get so far ahead by the time the Team Gumis hits level 20 that it doesn't matter anymore. But now Sonya is destroyed, so she's down. And yeah, there's just a few too many kills right there. So Nazeebo is their only hope. Nazeebo is really their Obi-Wan Kenobi at this point. He's the only hope that they have left. And there's the party bush. It's a party, baby! There's the taunt. Where's the damage? Maybe it was still on cooldown here, but I expected Kel'Thuzad to bust some additional spells out. Hasn't done that. So now we have 164 stacks for Nazeebo, 27 on the baseline for Kel'Thuzad. Yeah, he really wants to complete that. Once that's done, the red team is gonna fall like flies, I have a feeling. 16 is getting closer and closer on the other hand now for Team Gumis. So that's what they're playing on. But look how aggressive Team Voice is. I mean, they're really in their face. They're starting to steal items. They have a turret advantage already, and they're attempting to extend it. With level 16, we now get Mirror Ball. Muradin is heading into the Dwarf launch. And Nazeebo, after him getting himself a nice ice block, is now, in addition to that, also adding Soul Harvest. So even more spell power for him, which can of course be great, and he's about to hit the threshold that he needs, so the only thing that's left for him is to make it to level 20. The more he gets, the better, of course. I mean, Nazeebo is becoming stronger and stronger and stronger. He's becoming a total powerhouse with his hit points and his mana pool as all of this continues. But he's definitely where he needs to be for the Violent Faction. And on the structure side, ever since that fort fell in the mid lane, thanks to the protector that the blue team grabbed, there's not a whole lot more going on. Brutal kill against Kel'Thuzad. I mean, damn. Pulled a total Houdini. One moment he was here, and the next one he just disappeared. And now they're trying to go for the chicken. And the holy chicken is cooked. Nice. Yeah, that's a few kills for Team Gumis, and all of a sudden they get experience here. They push the opponent back to gain some momentum, and that's going to help them, if nothing else, to at least survive a bit longer. So, not too shabby. Well done here. 12 kills to 7 now, and this is exactly the kind of play that they need in order to get into a decent spot in this game and make it to 20, which was the big question mark in the first place. So, right now, Muradin jumping in, looking for more Stormbolt connects, which in this case did not come together. But they have to pop Odin in order to attempt and defend their top side fort. And look how much damage Nazeebo is already doing. And this is just on level 18. So here comes the spin to win. Sonya gets trapped by the zombie wall, but it also zoned out Tychus. The problem is they didn't have the damage to drop him. So now the top fort has fallen. More passive experience gains as well here on out for Team Gumis. I'm gonna be pretty happy with this. I know I would be. They can drop the fort in the mid lane too. That would of course be even better, but they already closed the experience gap pretty significantly. I mean, by now we're talking about barely half a level of elite for the team on the left side of the map. So, Team Voice, they have to be very careful. It looked great for them initially, but now they're starting to have to slowly face a problem, and that problem is called a level 20 Nazeebo with Violent Faction. So I expected them to take more structures down. I expected Team Voice to destroy a few more forts and maybe get some keeps by the time that level 20 hits, but we're far from that. Now, they're going to hit the Storm Talons first, but they are just now... No, they're not even... We believe they're not even completing the quest for Khaldor. I was just about to say, at least they're finally completing the baseline so that they get the reward here, because they need that extra spell power. And currently, that's just not coming together. Nezebo has crossed over into 203 stacks already. Red team should probably fall back and play a bit safer now. I honestly don't understand why they didn't do that earlier, because, let's be honest here, they saw that level 20 coming from a mile away. That wasn't really a secret. But, okay, another kill. Sonya goes down. That has been a bit of a theme. Sonya died 8 times. That's actually brutal. Sonya is having a massive, massive off day right now. She's aiming for double digits, clearly. So I'm not quite sure what exactly is going on there. Maybe Sonya just having a bad day. I also am not sure if the player is regular on the team. Maybe they play with a sub today. That just doesn't vibe that well with the team, or they have some communication issues. I'm not quite sure what exactly is happening. But suffice it to say that at this point, Sonya is one of the heroes that is suffering the most here and is having some real trouble. So they're trying to utilize that. The blue team is, of course, attempting to exploit it as best as they can, and they've gotten a lot of XP through those kills alone. But now that we're hitting 20, Nezebo is at 220 stacks. And that's at the 15-minute mark, so we could get even more as the game continues, and he will be incredibly difficult to kill. And we'll keep an eye also on his damage numbers. So Nezebo is currently sitting at 40,000 damage. Li Ming is sitting at 70,000, so that's a 30,000 gap. And, well, we'll have a look on how he is going to do. Also, by the way, 130... So Nezebo and Rexa are currently at the exact amount of siege damage. That's the point where we're at. Siege damage I pointed out because one of the things that we're definitely going to see is Nezebo trying to exploit the toads that he has and get the damage done on structures. But he is going to stack the baseline further. We have Viral Infection as expected, so right now this is a tough time for Team Voice. I really expected them, and I think they needed to do more earlier than this, and they just haven't. So now this is going to become a much tougher battle for them. And I want to see what Nezebo is going to do here. So already getting in position with the toads. And only one connects, but that's some good damage on the fort. You can poke from a distance here. Another taunt on Muradin this time. So that's a cooldown already burned. A little bit of damage done as they're moving into the fight. Misha gets attacked. Khaldor with the damage attempt. Sonya jumped in. Insta trouble for her. And she is down. The Ancestral used. And more toads, and everybody's running away from the toads. Everybody is just like trying to get to safety. And they're like, no! Okay, the blue team's still pushing. They're trying to get the fort at the bottom of the map, and they will. Tigers is at the top, so that's a 4 versus 4 now. Li Ming firing. And Nezebo trying, of course, the same. More damage done over here. Danazovsky gets more connects and good hits. And I mean, just look at Khaldor as quickly as he's dropping hit points in this case. So, yeah, it's more of an even battle now for sure. And Nezebo is already at 60,000 damage. He just added 20,000 damage, and he's closing in on Li Ming too. So the gap earlier between the two of them was 30,000. Now it's down to 19,000. That's just what Nezebo is doing, and is going to continue. So this is one of those late games when Nezebo is going to get lots and lots of value. And my man over here is crushing it. Talking about stacks, we also have a lot for Tigers. Now, Master Assassin, as I explained lots of times in the past, you pick it for the passive. You don't expect to complete it, but of course if you have a chance to do so, I mean, go for it. It's going to give you even more of a reward. So currently we have 9 stacks out of the 15 that you need. I honestly don't think that it would be too bad if Blizzard would at some point decide that they would lower the threshold and put it to 10 instead of 15. I think that would make it even more viable. I think that maybe it's just like really for quick match and stuff like that. They see balance things where it doesn't make sense. But generally speaking, when talking competitive, that's the thing. We're going for a race, apparently. That's an interesting one. I think, yes, the red team decides that they can't win it. So now, this is the time where the blue team could try and end the game. They go for a YOLO moment. They're just trying to drop him. Guys, this could actually work out. No, Nazebo! He had such a great spot here. And the blue team that just decides, you know what? Screw it, we can't win fights anymore. We just go for the core and we end the game. And then they did. All the work of Nazebo, and it was for naught. Team Voice with a great decision. It pays off for them, and they absolutely destroy the core within seconds. Team Gumis read that a little bit wrong, and this just came out of nowhere. So great move by Team Voice and the lead in this best of 3.
We're going to head straight into game number 2, but before we do, once again guys, if you enjoy the coverage on the channel here, if you enjoy the match, please like and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. It also helps to boost the game to an even wider audience. And of course, it helps to get people back into Heroes of the Storm, as the algorithm recommends the videos to people that were interested in Heroes of the Storm in the past. So again, before I continue, if you haven't done it yet, subscribe to the channel and like the video. Appreciate it. And with that, we're heading straight into the second map of the series.
Second map. So, game number 1 ended a little bit abruptly. That was quite the call from Team Voice. By the way, they start in red this time. So the teams, they changed sides. Don't be confused by the score. It is indeed the team in red that is currently in the lead. Over on the left, as we're going into Haunted Mines, we have Gumis on Tyrael. We got Rutek on Malfurion. Danozovsky with Kel'Thas, Lopaka on Thrall, and Ostrakiel on Yrel. Yeah, and the red team with a fantastic call towards the end of the game. I mean, that came really out of nowhere. The blue team totally didn't see that coming. Honestly, neither did I. We got Magda on Tassadar, the Holy Chicken with ETC this time. Halcon on Imperius, Mr. X on Ana, and Voice on Junkrat. Not gonna lie, this is one of the main reasons why I wanted to cast the game in the first place, because you don't get to see too many Haunted Mines games these days anyways. And this is a very nice change of pace here. So, interesting series between the two teams. We're soon going to head into the playoffs. We don't really have too many matches left that I want to cover here. I'm not going to cover all of the group stage. Again, this is done by replays because this has all taken place when I wasn't able to cast it live. Playoffs, bit of a different story. But for now, we have the Cyan Fusion for Tassadar. We're getting the extra wound timers on Junkrat and a contact healing grenade build for Ana. Now, all the way up at the top, Imperius is taking on Yrel, whereas down at the bottom of the map we have our foreman playing out now. Obviously, there's a little bit of rotational plays going on with some of the tanks as we're looking at Tyrael and also at ETC making their plays. But on top of that now, lots of pumpkins on the map, camps that you can claim. The mines are soon going to be opened up as well. And Haunted Mines for me was always a bit of a surprise, because if you've been following the channel for a long time, that you know that we are oftentimes throwing in some of these maps, Haunted Mines, Warhead and others, into tournaments. I mean, I've done entire tournaments that were centered only around crazy maps. So if you've missed those and you want to get a bit of a nostalgia boost here when it comes to the maps and where they perform, just scroll through the playlist a little bit. We went for META Madness at some point. We have, of course, the bounty system with the bounty tournaments that we're running, META Madness itself and other stuff. So again, if you missed some of these things, just check out the playlist and you're going to find tons and tons of stuff there over the last few weeks, months and years. As Thrall becomes the first victim in this game. But the big surprise was that when we started playing Haunted Mines a little bit, the map was actually fairly cool. So given all the other maps that are not well suited for competitive play for one reason or another, Haunted Mines was a bit of a pleasant surprise, where even the player said, you know what, this isn't really the best map, it's not the greatest map here, but when it comes to filling a map pool, this is something that we can toy around with every now and then, and it gets occasionally picked, and this game here was no exception. So Team Voice with 2 kills to 0 now, as they're opening this up pretty aggressively. I mean, Thrall falling first and Kel'Thas being destroyed, so they're crushing through that bot lane. There's a lot of action going on right now from Team Voice, even before the mines are opening. An entire wall destroyed here. Things are going really, really well for them. Top side, I mean, Yrel starts to jump in a little bit too deep. It's a lot of shots here too. But down at the bottom of the map, just before the mines are opening up, it seems like the red team is again trying to be a bit cheeky. So they're losing hit points on Tyrael. They might actually lose Tyrael himself. He escapes down into the mines, is trying to escape here, and Tacida's already on his heels. So Tyrael will get out, but now we have the blue team entering the mines, so does the red team. So it's all about the small camps where they're going for skulls. And we'll see who gets the biggest golem here. But as we all know, the size of the golem doesn't matter. It's all a question of how you use it. Now that said, I have actually until now not even picked up that Thrall has the new skin. I still don't know if I love or hate that skin. I really don't know. It's obviously a totally different style, and you can always say like, oh well, it doesn't really fit. But it is, I don't know, it just stands out. I mean, it's definitely a skin that you notice, right? So, love it or hate it, I'm still not sure. I think on the one hand, it's pretty cool. On the other hand, a lot of people are saying it is mega ugly and they hate it with a passion. I wonder if they are going to add a few more of that style or not. But it is a very different visual style than what they're usually going for with all of this. Now, skulls are slowly taken. We have most of the small camps now claimed, all of them in fact. So it's only the big golem that is still standing. Both teams can make a move for this. Small advantage in experience for Team Boys. Thrall is starting to ride around over here and is going to jump off at the top, assisting the rest of the team to try and get the pumpkins now that they hit level 7, but Team Boys is apparently willing to fight for it. Indeed they are. They're all jumping in. It's taken by the red team. They're pinning down Tyrael. They're pinning down the side laner, but the blue team, now with a full 5-man, is fighting back heavily. The lunge, and Yrel is gone. Nice. Yrel eliminated, and more stacks for Thrall, but not a completed level 4 quest just yet. Kel'Thas is adjusting a bit too with the Sunfire enchantment over here. And now that Thrall actually completed his quest, it is the death of Tyrael that we're seeing next. Good explosion from him, taking essentially the entire top wave out. But that's 4 kills to 1. And technically the red team could now decide that they want to go for the remaining skulls at the lower level. At least a few of the heroes are making a move, but are just jumping out of the entrances, so they're just using it for rotation. They're not actually going for the golem itself, so just not happening yet. Might even wait for level 10 until they're there. Not a lot of globes for neither Kel'Thas nor Tyrael. So both of them sitting at 6 to 9, nothing insane. Another camp claimed, Siege Giants this time. Red team just wants to invade the map a bit and look for more targets. They're coming in for Thrall, trying to take him down. Danazovsky also maybe in trouble, gets body blocked and eliminated. He's gone. Job well done by Imperius, who is now becoming the target himself, and that could be a kill. And it should be. And they're getting him. This lasted a bit longer than I thought it would, and for a second I wasn't sure if they were able to grab him. But yes, Imperius goes down, so nicely done. Imperius going up against Tyrael here. Bit of a brotherly battle. Yrel at the top, all alone, pushing for structures. Gumis though, gone. Just utilizing his trade, obviously. It's the trade use that we're getting more than anything else here from him. And while that's going on, up at the top, we now have Yrel just hopping around here, doing a bit more work on this too. So Siege Giants are again starting to push down at the bottom of the map. Lopaka, Rutek still trying to protect here. And quick reminder, nobody has gone for that golem yet. With an early level 10, Team Boys could technically try and do it. It's a bit more likely that they're going to go for it after a kill at some point. Root on the ground, and the follow-up from Kel'Thas. Ooh, and we got the black hole here for Tacida. Black hole in the house. We're getting the wrath of the Ingerius, so they could also boost Tacida's damage now, of course, on top of that. But in goes the level 10. Do we get Judgment? Oh, yes, Judgment and Poly. Judgment plus Poly is getting used here. Pyro. not Poly. There's no Medivh in this game. Pyro. Nearly the same thing. Nearly the same, but different. So, we get a Pyroblast. So Judgment and Pyroblast are going to go for the combo here. And already ETC in a bit of trouble. Where's that Pyro when you need it? There it is. And... no value.
They still kill Imperius and they kill Junkrat, but there was no value to be had from the Pyro alone. Now, haters are gonna argue, but Khaldor, the value was in him having to try and get out of the fight. And you're not completely wrong, you're just a little bit wrong. So, the no value Pyroblast. Connoisseurs know that you only get value from a Pyroblast if you get a kill with Pyroblast. I don't make the rules, I just tell you about them. So 4 kills to 6, but the blue team, they are starting to gain a bit of momentum here. Let's see if they can bring this back. Would honestly be pretty cool if they could. I mean, currently we have the... It's a 50-50. That's a tiny advantage for the blue team, but I think we can ignore that. One of the problems, by the way, for specifically Kael'thas is that he still hasn't completed his baseline quest. And if you are playing Kael'thas and you're going Mana Addict, you normally want to do that by the time level 10 hits. Because, again, you need some safety when it comes to these big fights. And this has just not really worked out yet. So, the only one on the blue team that hasn't died yet is Malfurion. 18,000 damage for Thrall. Tacitus on 25,000. Imperius on 24. And now, Judgment! And the attack. Pyro is not off cooldown yet, but they don't need a Pyroblast. They just come in and delete Imperius. No chance for him, and now it's defense time. Yrel does not care whatsoever about getting stunned, doesn't care who sees her or not. She just stands in a circle, jumps in, like, I got this, boys. And they take it out. So, golems are being destroyed here. The one at the bottom of the map doing a little bit more damage. This, again, is the first objective, so we're going to get plenty more where that came from. But now it's 5 kills to 6, so this is a much closer game than game 1. Then again, if you think about how the game ended, that's a bit of a different story. Game number 1 was just such a roller coaster. The early game completely dominated by Team Voice, and then later on we had the Nazebo level 20 factor. And of course the ending itself was just crazy. But hey, now the play for the camp. Yeah, where's my Pyro when I need it? There it is! And yeah, that counts! Pyro value! They get the kill! And they get the double. So Team Gumis, ladies and gentlemen, all of a sudden on a bit of a roll here, aren't they? They're getting kills, they're taking the lead in kills even. And they're starting to, I don't want to say dominate the game, but they are certainly starting to call the shots here and make the plays. So some catching up to do for Team Boys. Now that we have the red team attempting to defend at the bot lane, they gotta admit that this fort is not going to survive. So, 4 destroyed, this one is down, and after that we're gonna have the quick play made for maybe even the wall on the keep, now that we have a full 5-man at the bottom of the map. Try to go for the kill here, careful, ETC, slide, stuns, but Yrel is able to get out. Ah, but Kael'thas got a pyro kill! Value! The meme is real. They should have some kind of abilities or talents or I don't know what, where you can boost Pyroblast a little bit. Just if you can somehow enhance it so that it moves faster, that would be kind of funny too. Wouldn't really make it stronger in that sense, but it would definitely make it quite funny if you all of a sudden had like, you know, an increased range on Pyro and then also a speed enhancement or something along those lines. I think I've played a little bit too much March of Giants. It kind of tells. I want augments now for abilities. The kill on Yrel as the fight comes through. Malfurion attempting to keep the rest of them alive. They are looking for that counter kill. Pyroblasts, well, they have it off cooldown, but it's not being used here. Can't really find a proper target from the looks of it. So Danazovsky hasn't utilized it yet. Kael'thas is desperately trying to get in range of anybody here, but yeah, well, ain't happening. They have access to the mines though and can get themselves some skulls. But yeah, I have to admit that after playing March of Giants for the entire alpha now, some augment ideas for abilities on the heroes in this game would also be pretty cool. Super fast Pyroblast, all of a sudden zipping through, shorter charge time on it, maybe a bit of a damage increase. Not a bad idea. If you had some kind of augment system where you can boost heroic abilities, that would be pretty sweet. Obviously not really workable, don't get me wrong. I'm not advocating for that actually happening. That would change the game way too much and not really a thing that you can do.
But just as a bit of a meme idea and a bit of a concept art thing, it's at least interesting thinking about. Do you guys remember in the alpha of Heroes of the Storm? Oh, well, interrupt, okay. Trying to get the kill up at the top. And there's the pyro! And the kill! What was it called at the beginning of Heroes? Okay, this is an old school question. This is only for the old schoolers here. But do you guys remember that at the beginning of Heroes of the Storm, there was a system that they brought in where you could, I don't know if it was augments, but you had shards or something, or bloodstones, or what was that, where you could somehow change abilities or add additional effects to your heroes. I think you could get a life leech. Oh god, I don't remember what it was. I have the UI in front of me in my head right now, but I don't remember what the name was. But do you guys remember that? And there was such a massive backlash from the community instantly that they dropped the entire thing and then just scrapped it and said, alright, we understand you hate this and you don't want it. People were also a little bit afraid that they would add some kind of pay-to-win component through it as well. But I cannot remember the name of it. But yeah, that was super ages ago. Super old school. Great job, by the way, by Team Gumis here. I mean, again, we had it all on camera here, but obviously they were able to get to roughly a 50-50 again with the golem and some extra kills that they were able to grab. So now another fort falls. Still defend at the bottom of the map against the small golem. But it is definitely the blue team that is a bit ahead here right now. So with 11 kills to 8, and now 38,000 damage for Thrall, they're starting to push farther and farther ahead. The difference isn't insane. It's a 1-level lead and an extra structure that they took out. But we'll see what else they can now do. For right now, we have at the bot lane still some Siege Giants taken out on the catapults. Red team has also level 16 talents, but Judgment and another kill. Junkrat is gone, and that is kill number 12 for Team Gomez. Malfurion is the only one in the entire game that hasn't died yet. Together with Anna, he has the lowest damage, the 2 healers as you would expect. Don't really contribute a lot with DPS. We don't have Broccoli here. Big Mosh! Oh my god, dude, what the hell? Quick kill on Yrel, and now they're following up with the kill on Kel'Thas. So that was a monster mosh. It led to 2 kills, but honestly I thought for a second that they would be able to get more. He got everyone. Everyone was dancing over here, and then the follow-up from the Black Hole, Tassadar, finally an interrupt coming through. But that was quite the play from ETC. And now with those 2 kills, Team Voice has taken some momentum, a better position on the map, and is attempting to build on them. They are trying to go for follow-up kills now. Thrall has to retreat, because of course Vision that can be stolen away. There's Siege Giants that you can steal from your opponent, but they're not quite done yet with neither Thrall nor Tyrael from the looks of it. They want to at least get those Siege Giants here, because there's not that much on the map outside of mercenary camps. I mean, it's basically all that you can do right now. So they get the Siege Giants and can then fall back to try and get themselves some pumpkins. Everybody's back on the blue team side, so Tyrael has his judgment up, and we can get a follow-up from Kel'Thas again. But they close the experience gap a bit. And now the Undead are spawning once more, so the entire fight around the Golem will center around level 16 talents. I do not believe that Team Gomez will be able to somehow pick up enough experience to get themselves to level 20. But look at that. They go for the Admiral Akbar move. It's a trap! At least they tried. Imperius isn't here yet. They weren't at the entrance fast enough. But they were trying for the trap. Now, they all left again. And I'm not 100% certain if that's the best choice here. They need to fight for this. I still remember this amazing call in game number 1. So I'm all the time waiting for just another ingenious play executed. But, well, they are catching Kel'Thas. And even with Sundering, Kel'Thas is gone, and they might get a bit more than that. It's already a 5 versus 4. The attempt to go for Junkrat, he's still alive, makes it out of the mines in one piece. Good for him. Another slide, another stun. Yrel is here too. It's not over yet, and Tyrael with Judgment. But Gumis is very much alone. Anna was trying to keep Junkrat alive. That backfired, but Thrall also died, so that's another kill. And it's starting to become a bit of a bloodbath. Ana dies too. Tyrael is on a tear, honestly. First he took down Junkrat, now he eliminates Ana. So that's a 3 versus 3 on the map, with Urel still being on in the mines. But yeah, well, she's dead too. So as the dust settles, it is indeed Team Voice that is a bit ahead here. Good for them. They still need to get themselves some skulls. They haven't gotten any yet. 88,000 damage now for Tassadar, so Magdo has been absolutely crushing it on his hero. We have over on the left the blue team now probably trying to at least get a few of the camps. They have Malfurion in the mines, and so is Tyrael. But they will be chased down fairly soon, because here comes ETC. Imperius is coming in. It's a 3-on-3 on the map now, but both Junkrat and Ana are coming back in a few seconds, and here Urel is going to be down for quite a bit longer than that. The blue team still has more or less accomplished what they wanted to do. They have the lead in skulls again. And they are also closing on 20. But Tyrael might have a problem here. Lunge misses. Still trying to juke him out. Here comes the dart, and I think he's done for. He should be on cooldown still for quite some time. Tyrael, no chance. Staggered death right here. And now the blue team, for sure, in trouble. 50 seconds without Tyrael. They won't be able to capitalize on the level 20 talent. Angel of Justice. We get the Flamethrower. Lunar Shower as well. And now both teams on Storm Talons. So, yeah. That's momentum gone. 14 kills to 14. They're dead even on kills too. Nano Infusion for Ana. And, well, there's a few more camps that he could go for. The blue team should really not fight. I don't really understand what they're trying to do here, but, well, they might even get a kill, and they do. But there's the Mosh against 2, and the hit from Tassadar, and the kill. So both Malfurion and Kalthas are gone. Now they go for Thrall, and he dies. So, I mean, as nice as that initial kill was, the problem is still the same. Why do you fight there in the first place when you don't have a 5-man? They were probably just hoping to get a quick, nasty kill, but now we have that weird spot where the team in blue was leading for most of the game, and now they are losing one hero after another and losing more ground. The keep at the bottom of the map is getting attacked. On the top lane, there's still a fort standing, but down here, this keep will likely be eliminated. We have the golem still standing, but it doesn't seem that Team Voice is going to make a move for it. They're waiting for the minion wave right now in an attempt to take the keep out. They got 20 more seconds. And they also can still try and get another kill. Any follow-up kill here will do. Catapult does some damage too. They're still poking. That keep is low. And yeah, they're starting to check. Nice place, by the way, by Gumis. In a lot of cases, he got caught earlier, but he also has a lot of escapes that he's been able to pull off here. The problem is that Urel doesn't pull any escape off, so she's dead, and that's exactly what I just talked about. Staggered death. Right there. 60 seconds. They get the rest of the team back, and Urel is gone. So, huge problem right now. This will just continue the poke from Team Voice. They got Tassadar, they got Junkrat. Those champions absolutely excel at poking. Now, Thrall is trying to flank with Sundering. Goes for Tassadar. Riptide is already out. Nano boosted ETC now. Okay, that's a new one. But they're getting Kalthas. Kalthas is dead. Ana gets attacked by Tyrael, but I think this time they are going to be able to save her. I think. Maybe not. Even if she dies, they should get a counter kill. He's going to get exploded to death. Alright, Ana is gone. Ana has been destroyed. It's still kind of funny. Always funny when Tyrael gets mad value out of the trade. But look at that. The red team is actually trying to go for the core. Or for more kills at least. So, yeah, they try and take down Malfurion. He's low. Thrall also a little bit struggling here. I would have expected them to fall back and go for the golem. And it seems like they're also changing their mind to maybe do that. Or just escort the catapult in. Ana is still gone. Without Ana, I don't think that you can pull that off. But they want more kills. Urel with a very quick ult. Urel got kind of scared there. For good reason, I'd say. But, yep. They are still sieging up. At 22 minutes into this Haunted Mines game. And, of course, Team Voice is ahead in the best of 3. So, them being able to lock in another victory would guarantee them another W in the match itself. And get them, of course, into a better position in the standings to advance to the playoffs here. But 28 stacks for Tyrael, 29 stacks for Kalthas. And right now we have the lead in kills, just not in play for the objective, but it's a 5 versus 5 once more. Now, catapults this late in the game are of course going to hit hard. So at this point, Team Goomis will have to keep an eye onto the bot lane like the entire time. And by the way, considering how game 1 ended, you should really watch that bot lane. Because they could just go for the same call again and absolutely crush it. Tassadar is currently at 123,000 damage, so he went way past the 6 digits now. 71,000 for Junkrat. But yeah, some crazy Tassadar damage. Really nice plays by him throughout all of this. They're going again for Urel, and she's dead, but the counter kill. Junkrat is gone. It's really the Tassadar show, though. Protoss is obviously OP. A move. But spray game also on point. I like it. So yep, going for all the moves here with another Sundering coming out. Instantly the ult on Thrall. Nice nano boosted Tassadar and insta damage right there. So Tassadar is trying to net them a few more kills. Hasn't been able to do it. But now we have at the bottom a catapult that is any second going to be on the core together with the Siege Giants, and a second one coming. As usually, no, it's not griefing, it's actually attacking. Look at that. So the shield will fall if they don't react to it, and Tassadar is the one to make his move. But that means that Tyrael at the top is a bit alone, and he gets killed. So Tyrael goes down as the rest of the team is defending at the bottom of the map. Still losing a few points on the core. But now with Tyrael gone and Urel just barely coming back, the team apparently decided that it's time to go for the Golem and get themselves a few more skulls. And if they net themselves all of them here, then it will be a 60 versus 40 split between the two teams. And it seems highly likely. Don't think that without Tyrael, Team Goomis is really willing to engage into a fight. They shouldn't. So what we see instead is a 60-40 split. The push is of course going to happen through the top lane for the red team. So the fort will likely fall. But down at the bottom of the map, they have to really decide do they want to push, do they want to defend. I mean, time will tell. Can also just like try to push the top lane a little bit. Keep an eye on the golem at the bottom. If need be, half back and then defend properly. Now, at the bot lane, seems like they're gonna defend from the beginning. 5 kill gap between the two teams, 25 minutes on Haunted Mines. That's where we are now. And teams are setting up their defense, but there is still a presence at the top. So they keep Imperius around for a second, but they still got some pumpkins. They got a catapult there, and they just decided that that's going to be enough to have the catapults help with the boss defense at the bot lane. They want the golem at the top, and they want to do work with it. Another Sundering play. Junkrat low, and he's about to die. Nice coordination, everything just dropped on him, cooldown after cooldown. But it ends, as so often, with a counter kill through the red team. They take down Tyrael, and now they're destroying the topside fort. Down at the bottom of the map, there's currently pumpkins and there's catapults dealing with the golem. So even if that keep falls, the core is not going to be under threat. But I think that even the keep is going to survive. I'm not so sure though what's happening at the top, because that is a pretty nasty push that Team Boys has set up here. They should be able to do a lot of damage. And while they are still pushing and looking for kills, the golem at the bottom of the map is nearly defeated. And it's highly unlikely that the keep is going to fall. That keep will be standing. ETC is a bit too low though, so he needs to retreat, gets the heals from Anna, and is ready to re-engage. In comes the damage, the lunge, and Danasovsky is dead. Kelthas says bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And this is going to be keep number 2. Maybe more than that. There's catapults on the core at the bot lane, double catapult, and it's starting to break the shield and absolutely wreck the core. This is gonna be game likely. The catapults are still in play, are slowly taken out, but that golem does damage, and even with Tyrael now engaging and the Sundering coming through, it's just too much damage. 40% on the core, golem about to go down, but they can just right-click it, and Tassadar's damage is absurd at this point. 160,000 hero damage, 20% on the core. Junkrat is coming back, Tyrael is dead, is looking for the explosion kill against ETC, gets it, but they still lose the game, and this is a 2-0 victory for Team Boys against Team Goomis in the round robin. GG.